Doesn't that kind of just like freak you out a little bit when you hear that this meeting's being recorded? You feel like you got to be careful, like whatever you say. Okay. Hey, thanks everybody for attending. This is our meeting of our club trainers. Not every club has a club trainer. And so if your club doesn't have a club trainer and you're president, or maybe your club president sent you as a representative, I appreciate you coming here. You know, the whole trainer position is not something that the district has really promoted widely and has promoted over a long period of time. So we're hoping actually to get a foundation in the ground for club trainers because we believe that the club trainer is going to emerge as a really important person in how clubs operate. And so I wanted to start off today with a quick little screen share to just remind everybody what a club trainer does, because I think one of the big confusions is like, if you're the club trainer, you're probably wondering what it is you're supposed to do. So let me start over here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, everybody see that? Okay. Now, for some reason, my thing isn't working here. Okay. All right, here, let's start with this. You know, I even logged on to make sure this thing would work. And for some reason, it isn't working. So can everybody see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so
Yeah, we got your title slide, Benson.
yeah, I can see that. Let me come back in, and so we'll go back in again here. Let me see if I can stop share and I'll try it again. Okay. Hang tight, gang. Wow, we got a big crew tonight. 26 on. All right, hang on, let's see. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Since there's only really a few slides on this thing, let me bring you back here, and then I'll just kind of tell you what the slide said. So you know that'll be a lot easier. So if you're wondering what a club trainer does, it's basically 4 pretty simple things. And the first one is that a club trainer assists in the leadership and the development of leadership within the club. So like right now, we've got president-elects starting to come out now. So some of you that are on the screen now are president-elects, like I see President-elect Mike Carroll here. So the club trainer first assists in the development of leadership and the transition of leadership in the club. I can actually send this presentation to you. It's only a few slides when we're done. The second thing is that the club trainer provides the club with information. So any club presidents in here right now? Yeah, there's a few club presidents. Okay. So one of the things that we're seeing in some clubs is that the information that comes down from the district, primarily Naomi, it doesn't always filter all the way down to the club, because for some reason the president doesn't get it out there into the club, or doesn't make it into the newsletter, or it just doesn't filter down to the members of the club. So one of the things that the club trainer can do is to help disseminate information. So like in my club meeting, since I'm the club trainer, I always get a few minutes, and part of what I do I listen to the announcements that the president makes, and if he misses anything, I add him in there, talk about upcoming trainings, and then also give everybody an opportunity in the club to ask any questions about any webinars, anything that's coming up where training or information is going to be put out. All right, so that's the second thing. The third thing is to help the club with club identity. And now club identity is something that continues to confuse people, but it's pretty simple. It's what your club is known for. Like, what does your club do? What kind of things does your club participate in? Okay, how does your club see itself? Like, our club's it's a 60-plus-year-old club. And so we, over the years, have done certain things, like we do our same fundraiser every year. So we do dictionaries, we've done rescue tubes, we painted Hope Services. So our identity is kind of attached to the things that we do. So that's an important thing for the club trainer, to just keep the club, especially the board, focused on what that is, because that'll determine a lot of what the club does and doesn't do. And then and then the fourth thing, which is kind of an important thing, is to be sort of the policy advisor to the president. Like our president right now hasn't been a Rotarian for very long. He has a lot of questions. Now, fortunately, I'm the past president for 2 years, so he asks me the questions, and generally I know them. I know the answers, but if I don't know, then I typically will ask somebody like Doug, who probably knows it, or I'll go all the way to Naomi if I don't know the answer to the question. Part of what the reason why a club trainer is so important is that it's, you're kind of like the Chief of Staff, Secretary of State, somebody who's been there a while, that knows the answer to some of these questions, especially if you have a newer president. I mean, we have presidents in our clubs that haven't even been a Rotarian for a year. So you can imagine the kind of questions that they might have. And so, and then one of the things I encourage everybody to do is that what we're trying to establish throughout our district this year is to try to get everybody in our district to take this Rotary Basics course. And it takes 15 minutes. It's on Rotary Central, or it's on the Learning Center. And once you click onto that and you search for Rotary Basics, it just basically gives you some basic information about Rotary. And even if you've been in Rotary a long time or haven't been in Rotary a long time, it's good basic information for every Rotarian to have. Because one of the things that we believe in, we're seeing throughout our district and actually every Rotary district everywhere, is that the most involved Rotarians are the ones that know the most. So, that's not rocket science, right? So the goal is the more informed and educated the people in your club are, the more engaged they'll be. That's the concept, of course. It's not 100% infallible, right? But our belief is that if everybody gets some basic Rotary training, then that'll be good for the club. So I wanted to turn this little segment over to Naomi, because at the president's meeting, so this will be a little bit repetitive for some of you guys that were on that. She talked about the whole nominating process that's coming up now. So I'm going to hand it over to her and have her go over it with you. Okay, Naomi.
Okay, pass the baton.
Pass the baton. There you go. Pass the baton.
So at the president's meeting, we talked about the process for getting the slate of officers for July up. So when you look at your documents for your club, your constitution and bylaws, you would have a nominating committee. So October would be maybe when the nominating committee gets together. November is where 30 days before you have your annual meeting in December is where you get the word out that you're open for nominations for the slate. And then you have the election in December before the end of December. So this slate is where the club trainers can come in with training. So if somebody's asking, okay, what does the foundation person do? Or what does the membership person do? The club trainer can help with that information on getting someone prepared to take that position and be on the slate to be elected. So if you can go back, talk to your president and the boards and talk about the process that the club has for getting their slate up. So some of the clubs like Honolulu and Big Island clubs have the 3D where you have already the president-elect, the president nominee, and the designate already selected. But then now, what about the board? So look for the people on the board who would make a good foundation person. So the club trainer is really key on getting that training to the key people that that are going to be in these positions. So if you can work now with your president and the president-elect, looking at who in the club can make good officers, chairs, and start getting that slate together, that would be awesome. So in December, when you're electing this slate of officers for July 1st, you are electing a president-elect. That president-elect takes office the following year. Okay, so we should be doing that according to your entity document. So do you have any questions about that? In December, you are electing the president for 18 months from that point. Okay, so anybody have questions on that process? No? Good. So when we talked at the president's meeting, sometimes the concern, the roadblock is that you don't have people that are stepping up. So that's where maybe the club can have like a strategic plan or visioning to help with identifying people who could be future leaders for your club, but also for the district, and helping them become stronger, and then they'll be ready in 18 months to take that position. So it would be good if you put people on committees and they can learn how the committees work and then take a leadership position on that committee in a year, or maybe a leadership position on a project. So here they're getting some skills training as well. Okay, so the club trainer is really important to get that board up and running and identifying training needs. So if we can have the boards, the slates identified in December, it gets onto the Rotary website in January. Okay, when we have the training in spring, so we have the membership training, the secretary training, we know who should be in that meeting, and you guys can help them with understanding what's in the training and encourage them to attend the training. So once we have a really good, strong board for all of the clubs from the spring training, then come April, when Benson is working with the incoming board and doing that transition, and they're working on their budgets, their calendars, their projects before July 1st, then July 1st, they're hitting the ground running and they're ready and prepared. So that's where the club trainers and the presidents are really critical in helping this transition happen. Well, starting pretty soon when the president-elects go to training for president-elects, the pre-pets and pets. So a lot of, your positions as club trainer is really important for the success of the club.
Tina had a question about, shouldn't that already be in the bylaws?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's what it is in our bylaws. And meaning, shouldn't we be looking at our bylaws and reading those and understanding those? If so, then that shouldn't be an issue.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that would be a good thing for the documents to be reviewed, because in your bylaws and constitution, it does talk about the nominating committee and the nominating process. And so the board is really needing to work together on that.
Yeah.
And Gil
So
has
you-
a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Gil?
Yes, thank you, District Governor. Who is responsible for putting that information on the district website? Is that the president who does that?
It could be the president, it could be the secretary, it could be the executive secretary, Latina. So, you know, whoever has access can put that into the website. So you could put it into your club runner on the club level, or you could put it directly into the district website.
Okay. The other question I had was, where is this Rotary Basics? I've got the website up on my computer. I found a PowerPoint file called Rotary 101. Is that what Benson's talking about? Or is there something called Rotary Basics and I'm just not seeing it?
I had a hard time finding it too.
Where is it?
Yeah, we actually have a link, and our next thing that we're going to do is to go over, because we put a training, or Naomi put a training library on the website, and you can actually click onto it from the website. There's a now if you go to our district website, there's a big section that says training library, and in the training library, since you click on that, there's a link that goes to Rotary Basics. It's actually in the Learning Center. So if you go into the Learning Center, and there's all of these courses that are set up in the Learning Center, and you just search Rotary Basics, then it'll come up.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at it and I don't see, oh, training library on the top.
Yeah,
Okay.
training library.
Click on training library. And then what am I looking for?
Yeah, Naomi, you wanna share screen, Naomi, and walk her through that, because I have something else keyed up.
Okay, I just found it.
Sure.
I have another question. So
Okay.
I know we have pets. Is there anything, and I'm sorry, I can't remember from when I was president, is there something for the incoming president-elect? And I don't mean pets. I mean, I'm going to be president, and this is going to be my president-elect. Kind of like weekend training for them.
Yes, there's something that's called a pre-pets, and that is on February 20th.
No, but is that for the incoming president, or is that for the president? So if I'm going to be president in July, I would go
Right.
to pets.
Pets.
But what
Right.
about my president-elect? Is there training for my incoming president-elect that goes over things like, you got to have your slate together by December? Understand what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
If you're going to be the president in July of 2021, right? Then you are basically a president-elect.
Right. But my president-elect, if I'm the president-elect, then I'm going to have a president-elect.
Yeah, that's
So-
a president nominee. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there training for the president-elect nominee?
Not right now, because what we're focused on, actually starting now, that's our next topic, is to work with the president-elects, the people that are going to be president on July 1st, 2021. That's the people that we are starting with now. Now, the president nominee, there's lots of things. I mean, we could start out something for them, but basically right now we are focused on the president-elect, who is going to be president in July of 2021.
Couldn't they be included in all the other training anyways?
Yeah,
Is there a reason
they
can't
could be, yeah, they
They
could
could
be
just jump
included.
on everything, right? So
Yeah,
shadow.
they could be included. I mean, that's why the Learning Center was set up and on Rotary's website, is so anybody who wanted to learn anything. I mean, you can go all the way up to district governor training and be a Rotarian for 2 days. I mean, if you wanted to learn everything there is now, Naomi, can you bring up the training library right now? So we can just sort of click through that real quick. Because our next thing is we're gonna break up into breakout groups.
Okay, so first of all, let me show where the Rotary Basics is. So this is the Rotary International website, okay? So on the website, you're going to Learning Center, and then right here is the Learning Center. When you go to the Learning Center, you're gonna come up with this course catalog. Type in Rotary Basics right here, and then it'll bring it up. Okay, so these are all of the courses that you can take on the Rotary International website. So rotary.org, and this is the Rotary Basics course that Vincent's talking about. Okay, so now you want to go to the district website. This is the district website, rotaryd5000.org. This is the training library up here. Okay, and then where did you want me to go from here, Vincent?
Well, you can just kind of click on the boxes and tell them what's in there, and then all of the like the documents and everything I listed on the right-hand side over here, and all of these links. So if you're looking for something, like click on membership, for example. If you click on membership, then all the membership documents will all come up. So like, Rotary Club health check, strengthening your membership. You see these documents that are in the main body right there? So and then down here, down at the bottom of that is Rotary Basics, and that's that Rotary Basics brochure.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah, Rotary, that's the 44-page Rotary Basics brochure. So that's something that everybody in the district ought to have that. So on every one of these, if you go back and you hit training library again, it takes you back to that landing page with the 6 books. And then each one of them has different information about that subject matter. So if you're wanting to know stuff about membership, public image, youth service, international service, like Tina, your question about, well, what do we do with the presidential nominee? They can start running through all of this stuff, man, because there is a ton of stuff in there that, if you can have the time to familiarize yourself with it, you're going to be pretty far ahead once they get into the president-elect here, where they're going to go to pets and then actually pre-pets, which is before you go to pets.
Benson, I have a comment.
Okay.
I have a comment. I agree with you, and I think that's got to do with the club trainer. I think the club trainer's got to lead the president nominee into this, what you just said.
Exactly.
I think it's a great educational tool, and this training library is also great because the president nominee, they really got to start getting up to speed, and this is a good way to get it started. And another comment about the bylaws, every club has pretty much the same bylaws about getting the nominating committee. In December, you got to you have to get your vote done. I mean, everybody's got that in the bylaws, but the problem is all the new presidents in July, they're just cranking away. They're just trying to get all their projects done, and they can't even be thinking about next year. So I think it's a club trainer's job to say, hey, by the way, this is November. We got to get a nominating committee. In December, we're coming up for a vote. I mean, somebody's got to just tap them on the shoulder. And I think that's the club trainer's job.
Exactly. And Alan hit it right on the head. So Tina, I want to go back to your point about the bylaws, and you're exactly right. It should be all in the bylaws, and it is basically in there. Unfortunately, what happens, like in our club, when I got to be the president-elect, our club was basically run by the same core group of people for 15 years. And so they already knew the bylaws. So every year they just did everything. They never told us that, it's all embedded in the bylaws if you wanted to read it. Now, the president that was there before me, Brenda, she wanted to rewrite the bylaws. And so she gave that project to me. And otherwise I would never, I don't know if I would have read it. They just said, okay, hey, this is what we do. And so, yeah, so Kelly's point that he put in the chat about you should have an annual document review, 100% agree with that. So that's why you guys can see the emergence of this club trainer is super important, because you're kind of the guide, right? You're the Yoda of the club that says, oh, hey gang, you know, it's December and this is what we got to do. Because a lot of times the president, you know, has good intentions, but they're swamped by so much stuff, service projects, you know, donations, foundation day, whatever. They're not really keeping track of all the stuff that needs to be done. And so the club trainer really has to do that. So Naomi, go ahead. So did everybody see how Naomi came up with this? So maybe you want to go back and show them where you click to get this page. So on the training, in the training library, there's a little link down at the bottom. Yeah, you see it. Okay, all right. Webinar recordings by topic. Okay, right there. Go ahead, Naomi. Sorry.
Okay, so when you click on that link, it'll bring up a spreadsheet, and where is it? And the recordings of the webinars that we've had for the last year and a half are all here categorized by the topic. So club trainer, even from last year, we have the webinars on here, then foundation. And so your president-elect and president nominee can go to the past webinars and take a look at that. Okay, so the webinars that we have coming up, Benson wanted to show this list. So we have, right now we're here with the club trainer. We have the environmental group, community service, we're not confirmed on that, but we're kind of winding down on the training because the president-elect training is going to start gearing up pretty soon, and it's going to be fast and furious for president-elects.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say, you know, when you have your annual meeting in December, just remember that Rotary International says that the treasurer is supposed to give the report on the finances to the entire club. And I think that is not happening where the entire club gets a report of the finances. So you might want to remind the treasurer that that's coming up in December at the annual meeting. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Naomi, you did a really excellent job. I'm going to recommend you for district governor. Okay. All right. So here's our next thing. So now that we're talking about training. Oh, Gail, you had a question. Sorry.
Please. Is the Rotary Basics course different than this Rotary Basics PDF file that I just downloaded?
Yes, it's a little, well, and it covers the same material, but the PDF is a 44-page booklet and it goes into more detail. My
feedback on this is if you try and take the course, the first thing it wants you to do is log into the Rotary International website. And I don't know that members of my club know how to do it or would want to do that. Whereas if I have our executive secretary send everyone this PDF file saying, hey, I learned about this in training. There's good information here. Read it at your leisure. I think you got a better shot at them actually looking at it. What do you think?
Well, I think you know, it's your club, so you figure out what has the best shot. So in our club, it's kind of a mix. Some of our older members, they won't click on it. The younger members, they'll want to, you know, they'll do it on their phone. So so it's, you know, 6 one way, half a dozen the other way. The main thing, Gail, is that we get this information out to everybody. And so every Rotarian that's in our district and that's coming into our district is all going to have the same base of knowledge. So I appreciate your, you know, you're wanting to promote that and put that.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so president-elects, all right? So last week we had the grant management workshop. A lot of you guys were on that call. Great, thank you. That was Saturday, and that was the first official required thing for all the president-elects to be at. Now, many of you have already been club presidents before, have had the experience of doing pets and pre-pets. You know that there's an enormous amount of information that's out there. So what I want to do right now is I'm gonna break us up into small groups, like 4 or 5 people. And I want you to talk in your group and come up with what you feel is the top 3 things we need to focus on with our president-elects. And it's gonna vary from person to person, right? Based on what your experience is, your perception, whatever. Because as you know, like I said, when you go to pets, it's just like you're drinking out of the fire hose full blast, right? So in pre-pets, which is February 20th, we're hoping to give them information that can help them to get a firm footing and a foundation so they can build on whatever they get at pets. But what we give them, because we only really have a kind of a day, and we're gonna start meeting with them regularly, like the club trainers and like the presidents monthly. We have a limited amount of time and we have an enormous amount of information. So I want to get some feedback from you guys. And so the question is that you're going to discuss in your groups is what are the top 3 things we need to get to our president-elects as they're heading into the pre-pets and the pets season. Okay, any questions about that? So I'll give you like about 10 minutes and then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about it. And then I want to share a little information with you guys on servant leadership. Okay, any questions? Okay, see you guys in a few minutes. Bye. Okay, let's see. Cheryl, I guess I got to put you in some group here. Let's see. You're not disappearing here. Let's see.
Here, let me change the name so people know.
Okay, yeah. You can, or you like me changing for you?
Yeah, I got him, sweetie.
Who's Walker?
Oh, yeah, that's my son, Naomi. My grandson, rather.
Okay.
You want me to go to the room, Benson?
Yeah, I actually have you assigned to, for some reason you're not leaving.
Okay, I'll leave if you want me to leave.
No, but I don't know, for some reason it's not hasn't picked you up yet, but you're gonna go, so I'll say
Okay, I'm going. Bye.
I'll say goodbye in advance. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, Cheryl, I'm gonna put you in a group. Okay, let's see.
Sure.
Put you in number 1. Okay, let's see. Mike, I need to put you somewhere. Let's see. You should have gone into room 4. So let me, oh, you did go. Okay. All right. I think we got everybody. Sandy's still here and Roz is still there. All right, cool.
I'm going to stay here.
Okay, excellent. Sandy, are you with us?
Presentation, usually you get it up there so well. What happened?
I have no idea. You know, it's technical difficulties, man.
It's always something. It's Murphy's Law, but
Yeah.
I can't believe that was you.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing about it is I had it in place for like a couple of hours, and maybe what I should have done is taken it all down and then refreshed it all back up again, right? Because I had something to do before this meeting, so I put it all in place. I went to do my something, and when I came back, you know, the thing was all like frozen up. So Sandy, do you want to say anything or have any comments you want to make about about pets and about pre-pets or anything like that? Want to chat about that at all a little bit? I mean, you don't have to, but. Okay. Yeah. She went to take a snack. She went to get a snack. Went to the bathroom or whatever.
She went for some entertainment libation.
Yeah, entertainment libation. Okay, so while we're over here, let me, I'm gonna check on my other little thing I got here. Let's see. Oh, there's Sandy.
Hi,
Okay.
Sandy.
Sandy. So Sandy, do you want to
What you do?
saying or about the about pre
It's gone.
we stop?
He's after.
Okay, I can't. Is it? Okay, yeah, she left. I guess she
Well, maybe waiting to
doesn't want to say anything. Yeah.
Great job, Benson. Really good
Yeah,
job.
sometimes it goes and sometimes it doesn't go. So we'll see what happens.
But
Let's.
one thing you know, it's not the end of the world. You just keep going.
Oh yeah. You just keep going. Let's see here. Trainings. Okay, let's see. All right. That's where I want to be here. Okay. Okay. So Roz, how's it going with you? Okay.
It's really, really busy. I've been getting some invitations to speak at clubs in Canada. So I've been talking a
Oh.
little bit about in polio eradication, and a couple of
wow.
clubs in Florida, because this is in polio now month. So I've been working with them on that. Like you, I think you're doing about 2 or 3 Zoom meetings a day
Yeah.
in addition to work. That's what I'm doing as well.
Yeah.
So did you say that you're president again this year for your club?
No, I was president again last year. So I was president the year before, and then I was president last year. So this year, I'm the club trainer this year, and I'm the community service chair. I'm also the district trainer. I got a lot of hats.
Sandy's year, your community service chair.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool because over here in East Hawaii, we all try to kind of work together, right? So there's 5 clubs over here, and so when one club has a project, the other clubs try to come and help too. So I mean, I don't have to make a project every month for our club. I mean, it sort of comes into the group, and then we all kind of figure out who can work them, right?
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's good because we figured that part of the, get us more impact is if we work together, especially if we pool our money, right? So if we
Yes.
if we pooled our DDF funds together, we could do a really big project, right?
Yep. That's what it's all about, especially you're in Hilo, Romy, right?
I'm in South Hilo.
Oh, you're South Hilo.
Yeah, I'm in South Hilo.
Oh, okay. Mitchell is in Hilo, right? Mitchell
Yeah.
Dotto?
Yes, he's in Hilo. Yeah.
South. Do you see Pete Mueller at all?
I don't see him that often because he's in a different club than me, but every once in a while I'll see him. When we get together as like a group, when we have our trainings and stuff, I mean, before when we used to be able to get in person, then he would come.
And he was Hilo Bay. So,
Yeah. He was. Yeah. Okay, we're coming back. There's Gwen. Good to see you again. Everybody's reappearing. Okay. Okay, Kelly.
Okay, everybody shut up.
You know,
You're no
that's not
longer
enough.
in lab
Boy, that was
conversation.
short.
Was that short?
That was really short.
Short.
I
What
know
is
it
wrong
is.
with that? You want to try it again?
I couldn't even do a bathroom break.
Let's try it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, I'll give you a couple more minutes next meeting. Okay. So Kelly McDonald, you were in one group. So what did you guys come up with? Anything?
So I think we
What's
had
the three
three
things?
quick, I think we had
Yeah.
three quick points. It was,
Okay.
how do we connect to our current members?
Okay.
You know, in the go forward, whatever that looks like,
Okay.
in whatever tier we're in. How do we build new membership? And how do we build an energy and an enthusiasm? Because people have Zoom fatigue, we're COVID fatigue, but how do we keep up tempo in this current moment and kind of work the lever? And I think, you know, that's those are the things that I think transcended for Lynn and for Mike and I. So, and then Naomi was there as well to kind of help make sure we got it in to get our 3 points.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Arlene, what about your group?
Well, we kind of looked at it in a different perspective. Like
Okay.
I mentioned more preparing a PE by giving them like a calendar of events. I know that Naomi put one together, and I know myself, I broke it down every month. What is due on what month and the theme of each month, and kind of give you an idea of how the year is supposed to play out. But also seeing how the different roles that are played in the club. And also Mariko had mentioned that having like co-chairs as opposed to just one chair having the responsibility, and that it's a possible line of continuing, you know,
Okay. Yeah, line of succession.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheryl, what group are you in? Cheryl Park.
I was with Rich and Paul and Janaya.
Okay.
And
What did you guys come up with?
well, first of all, it took us quite some time to, you know, get to know each other a little bit better. But when I saw you put down 59 seconds, we hurried up the meeting. And I think basically we had the same thing about, you know, making sure that we delegate, you know, certain positions to our members so that we can keep them active. And like Arlene, we thought about establishing a schedule to give them, you know, to look forward to the year as to what's going to happen, so they know what's coming up. And then our third one, I suggested that maybe we should get together and make sure that PEs know about Club Runner, and being able to, because of this virtual meeting, that we can advertise our meetings and events, fundraisers, and all that good stuff.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, what other groups haven't reported yet? Jeff, how about your group? Did your group report already, Jeff Pang?
Yes, well, we didn't get very far. We're just trying to understand what the situation is as what to be expected of a president year. But we didn't get to that point.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to report in their group? I'm just sort of making a list.
Our group, I talk too much. And Alan Kawamura got to talk, and then Marianne Berry got cut off, and Gwen never got to talk. So I want Gwen to talk right now.
Okay. So hey, if you guys are feeling shortchanged, let's talk right now. Yeah, let's talk with this.
When?
No problem.
Well, I think our group agreed with everything. The only thing I'm not hearing from anybody is the importance of financials. I think that there needs to be more training up front, because the first thing you have to do is your budget. And I may be a financial person, but that dumbfounded me on the way that it's done with the club. So I think a really heavy financials dose should come early on. I think the calendar, we reiterated, that's awesome. The calendar should be out there. Ben, some best advice you've given us all year is to do it you showed us a format, put all the months out there, fill it yourself to do it. Don't use Naomi's, filling your own things. So you have your own authorship. and add hers in. And the third thing was technology. We need more on technology in
Yeah.
every way. Club runner, everything. And I didn't hear those in the previous discussion, so
Yeah.
I'm just adding them.
Oh, yes. Hey, guys, speaking of technology, Gwen is going to do a special thing for us on how to engage your club with Zoom next Wednesday, right? Gwen, next Wednesday, right?
I hope so. My arm is broken, but I'm feeling it, and love to have you guys on and bring tips that you're using in your meeting, because I consider it a very collaborative space.
Oh, okay, cool. But did somebody came and did something for your work, right?
Oh yeah, we've had lots of training. It's not in a format that I would present exactly to you, but we can recreate the collaborative nature that is what really makes Zoom happen. So that's what I'm
Okay.
gonna try and do.
Cool. Somebody said, Dave Mosman, I think it was you or somebody in one of our foundation meetings said, hey, it's all about R&D, right? Rip off and duplicate. And I thought that was awesome.
Not me.
No,
I'm totally original. Totally original.
It was Ziegler or somebody said that. I said, I'm going to say that.
I like that though.
That's our Rotary motto is, R&D, man. Rip off and duplicate. Okay, anybody want to add anything else? Because, Sandy's on the call over here too. We're going to get together and start talking about, what direction we want to take the PEs, because it's really important that they get off on the right foot. And so for some of you that have already kind of been down that path already, your input is going to be really, really essential in this. So, Sandy, did you want to add anything about that or say anything about the PE training? I know we have pre-pets coming up February 20th, and then pets, I think it's March 5th through 7th.
Yes, just very quickly, this pandemic environment is kind of limiting and making us really having to think through our planning here. But just to let you know in advance, the January pre-pets, we'll do that virtually. And then in March, Far West Pets, that many of you who have been presidents before have attended the Far West Pets training in San Jose. That will also go virtual. However, if it becomes safer for us to travel inter-island in this environment that we're in, hopefully by March, our plan is hopefully that we will be able to have an in-person pets on one of the islands here for our president-elects. We will only do that if it's safer for us to travel, and we'll see how that goes, but that's what we're looking into now. So we'll still enjoy the curriculum of Far West Pets. We'll pipe them in virtually, but we're going to try to also do the in-person pets for us, for all that team building and that camaraderie. It's so important. Thanks, Jensen.
Okay. Okay, great. So anybody else want to add anything to this PE suggestions for president-elects?
I don't know about the other presidents, the other clubs, but one of the things that we do as a kind of a tradition is if a president can't make it to a particular meeting, we don't use past presidents, we use the president-elect. And the reason being is that it gives them the knowledge that they may be pulled up at any time.
Yeah.
And it gives them some practice at the position before they're up at the podium permanently. And that's worked out really well.
Yeah.
I mean, they make mistakes, but so did we. But they do it sooner than during their year. So they have a lot more confidence when they go into their year and they hit the podium for the first time.
Yeah. Thanks, David. That's a really great suggestion. So our plan, we tried to start it out this year, but we'll get better at it as the years go by. But is to start this transition period right after a PE comes back from PET. So April 1, we'll start a transition period where they'll start, becoming more involved in the operations of the club, maybe do some things in the meeting so that, by the time you're in May or June, you're already starting to run some meetings. And I think that PE thing is a great deal. I know that when I was PE, I ran a couple of meetings. So that was It was nerve-wracking, but hey, it was good. It was
Yeah.
trial by fire. Okay, anybody else on the topic of president-elects? And I think, Tina, I think it was a really good point about the whole president nominee. So we can get the club trainers to start getting that president nominee clicked into the training library. And I got to give Naomi a lot of credit for taking the time to set all that up, because I was on another district's website and they had a training library. And so I went back to Naomi and said, Naomi, we need a training library. And she says, well, what do you want it to look like? And when I described it, like 2 weeks later, she did it. So yay for Naomi. Okay, so hey, we only got a few minutes left, but I want to talk about servant leadership. And I was going to play this clip from Kent, like a lot of you guys know Kent Keith, right? Because he's been a Rotary member for a while here. Okay, so he has written a number of books about servant leadership, and servant leadership is basically leadership that takes into account the needs of others. So when he spoke for about 20 minutes to our Leadership Academy group, our 200 level guys that are taking that course, that set of courses, and a number of you were in on that. And although I've heard that, I've heard that topic before, I never heard it explained concisely like he did it. So that link is now on the our website. Is it in the training library, Naomi? Where can people find that? Kent Keith's talk.
Right now it's on the webinar list, but I can put it in the training library.
Yeah, put it in the training library, because I believe that that our district, as we work on the development of leadership, that we're going to go down that road of servant leadership, because it's different than conventional leadership, which is sort of power oriented, like where traditional leadership is about hierarchy, right? Whereas servant leadership is like is more about how do I serve the needs of other people, and it's more collaborative. So as I've said before, right, there's leadership, and then there's leadership of volunteers. And so if you're the boss at work and you're used to telling somebody, hey, I need that report by tomorrow at 2, and if they don't do it, there's consequences. I mean, you tell somebody that in Rotary, and they're like, hey, man, I'll do it whenever I feel like it. You can't fire them. So servant leadership is something that will serve us well. So I just wanted to, those of you that are on the call, Doug, I know Doug has had a lot of experience with servant leadership in his career. So I wanted to just take a couple of minutes while we try to wind up here to talk about that, because servant leadership is where we're going to take the development of leadership in our district. We're going to take it down that road. So anybody who heard the talk want to make any comments about that? Doug, how about you? Were you there? Did you hear Kent Keith's talk?
Yes, thanks, Benson. So Dr. Kent Keith wrote, one of the things he wrote was the Paradoxical Commandments, right, back in the 60s. And I would encourage you to go take a look at those if you haven't heard of them, or if it's been a while since you've kind of looked at them. The idea, as Benson talked about, the idea really is what we're in leadership positions for about ourselves and the power we can gain, or is it about the organization's mission and serving others? And if it's the latter, then that's really servant leadership. And of course, for Rotary, service above self, it all kinds of fits right into that pretty easily. And it's an interesting process, because we're socialized to some degree to understand power as a way that we get things done. But in volunteer organization, as Benson has talked about, it really is about different types of leverage. And oftentimes it's more inspiration than it is motivation. And so setting the example is always a prime way to encourage others to also serve. And my personal belief is that leadership in volunteer organizations is about developing other leaders, because none of us are going to be in this organization forever. And the idea is to make sure that the organization continues to do what it's supposed to do in terms of taking care of the things that it needs to do. And if it's going to do that, then we have to make sure that there's leaders that are doing that.
Yeah, that's great, Doug. You really appreciate those comments. Naomi, did you have a final comment on this before we wind it up? We're just about at 8 o'clock right now.
No, but I just put it onto the library page.
Library, yeah.
But before you do sign off, I think we want to let everybody know about World Polio Day. So let me know when we're at the end of this session.
Well, you can talk about World Polio Day right now if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this Saturday, if we can all remind your clubs that this Saturday we have a webinar from a Zoom from 10 to 11:30. Sonia has put together entertainers. We have speakers. We're going to honor the hospitals, but this is to celebrate what we've done so far for eradicating polio. And so please remember that we still need to raise money for Polio Plus. We still need to, we're this much closer, make it smaller. Okay, so with that, this much closer to eradicating polio from the world. This is something that is totally preventable with the vaccine. And we need to still vaccinate 400 million children every year. So, let's not take our eye off of this whole process that we started and we want to finish. So, Sonia, you want to talk a little bit more about Saturday's event?
Yes, we have 3 wonderful Rotarian singers that are going to offer wonderful songs. We have Andrea Pelletier from the Rotary Club of Hilo. We have Nicole Lemus is going to be performing, and also Craig Hirosaki from Naomi's Club. We also have personal NID stories that's going to be offered by past district governors Laura Ross and Lisa Cooper, and a really heartfelt story from a polio survivor. It's a beautiful, beautiful flowing presentation, and you'll be engaged as every minute goes by. So please join us. It's really, really good.
All right.
If everyone can make an announcement in your club, that would be awesome.
Okay, everybody make a point of getting that out in your club. Remember, it's important that information get down to everybody. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock right on the dot. And before I stop the recording, I want to tell everybody how much I really appreciate you guys taking out the time to spend an hour of your evening doing Rotary training, man. Because, the almost 30 people on this call, and it really gives me a lot of inspiration to think that there's that many people that would be willing to give up an hour of their time to do something for Rotary. So as Doug was alluding to, I mean, in my parents, in their time, leadership was really about command and control, but now it's about trust and inspire. And so it's really inspiring to have a chance to work with all of you guys. So, all right, we'll see you next time, hopefully Saturday. And don't miss Gwen's Zoom training next Wednesday. Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate your time and help.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.